What's up, everybody? It's Steve the Hurricane, and for today's episode of Drink with the Hurricane, we are going to continue our talk and discussion on the top 5 referral sources, specifically those continuous care retirement communities. So raise your glass and let's toast to your success. Cheers. This is A Drink with the Hurricane, the talk show discussing all things growing your home care business. This video is sponsored by Home Care Evolution, where we help home care agencies adapt to changing circumstances, transform their business so that they can thrive for years to come. So a CCRC, a continuous care retirement community, is a great referral source. The main reason for them being such a great referral source from a private duty standpoint is the CCRC already did the hard part of qualifying the person financially. In order to live in one of these communities, many of them have a deposit that are several $100,000 that they put down. Then, as they're there year after year, a portion of that money will go back to the family when the person passes away, and they pay rent every single month. Anybody who has access to that type of resources is probably somebody who's not necessarily independently wealthy, but they probably paid for their house in the 70s or the 60s when the house was $30,000, $40,000. And before they moved in, they sold that house now for $500,000, $600,000, $800,000, etc., leaving them with plenty of resources to be able to move into one of these communities. Now, understanding the different type of referrals we can get from this community, the first time comes from an unfortunate stigma that people have in these communities. And knowing that the continuous care retirement community has an independent living, an assisted living, and a nursing home all on one big giant campus, people don't necessarily move into the nursing home or move into the assisted living right away. People usually move into the independent living. When you're living in the independent living, you want to be there as long as you can, and you don't want to decline and move to the next level of care. As a result, if something happens to somebody in independent and they should move to assisted living, one of the things that they can do to avoid moving into the assisted portion is to bring in private care. That's you. Secondary, when someone's in the assisted living portion, they don't want to move into the nursing home portion, so the same exact thing. They get to a point where they're no longer considered assisted living appropriate. The director of nursing says you really should move into the nursing home. If they have the resources, they can stay in the assisted living on one condition: they bring in private help. Last but not least, when you have somebody who's in the nursing home portion, if they're a resident, you're probably not going to get them for services. But if they're there for short-term rehab so they can go back to the assisted or the independent, that is a great way to get a referral to help the person go back home. So those are the 3 different type of referrals that you can get from the CCRC. Now, when it comes to getting your foot in the door, there's so many ways that you could do it. For those of you who are my clients, Fast Start Lesson 1, Fast Start Lesson 3, Fast Start Lesson 5, 6, Advanced Training, Lesson 1, 2, and 6. All 6 of those lessons talk about how you can get into CCRCs, reference all of it. It's literally 6 hours worth of content, and I don't have time to go through it all right now, okay? But in short, the best way to get into the CCRC is working with the marketing director whose job it is to fill and grow the CCRC. What I love about CCRCs is they're all usually gorgeous. And they all have budgets to do events on site that bring people to the community, sometimes potential residents, sometimes professionals who can refer them potential residents, and they are always looking to host the next big event. Something that you should be doing anyway with your marketing effort is collaborating with folks who have beautiful spaces to show off. You don't have a big office. You don't want people to come to your office, but you do want to collaborate on an event. Get the CCRC to host it in their grand ballroom or their all-purpose room or their auditorium or wherever it is. Maybe their beautiful patio for a summer barbecue or something of that nature. Do a networking event. Do a wine and cheese tasting. Do a CEU event and invite hospital discharge planners there. There's so many things that you can do. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is to collaborate with that marketing director to do events. Now, Steve, if the marketing director doesn't refer me, why should I work with a marketing director? Because every time I plan an event, I'm not going to show up one time and just plan the event and then show up when the event is planned. No, it's going to take weeks and months to execute the event. So if I get in with the marketing director today and we're planning an event 8 weeks from now, that literally gives me a reason every week for the next 8 weeks to show up at this account to plan my event. Go over what the event is, what's the budget, who has to do what responsibilities, we're promoting the event, go over the attendee list and all these other great things. Then the day of the event comes and you have to do the event and execute it, and then all of your follow-up that comes thereafter. During that 8 weeks leading up to and through the event, you should be going in, having conversations with all of the referring parties and establishing yourself as an agency of choice so that you are receiving referrals. Now, there's so much more to it than this, but that is the best tip I can give you to start it off. If you want to get business from CCRCs, the best thing you can do is invest in yourself by getting training and coming to my Home Care Evolution Bootcamp. Go to my website right now, find out when the next one is, commit today, because you know I'm going to give you everything you need to blow away the competition.